Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana. And as always, I've got Josh, Midwest Vintage Cards from the not so great state of Illinois and the city of Chicago. Yeah, it's not that great, man. I mean,
fantastic.
Yeah, I've never been there, but it's not that great, right?
Herbs and Horto, it's the best. City in a
It's
garden.
not that great since Jordan left town.
Well,
but
I mean, the sports teams are terrible.
Yeah, here we are. We're bringing you the Pop Report, and this is Josh. Can you believe this is episode number 10, man?
I can't believe people are still watching this after 10 episodes.
Well, we don't know that they're still going to watch this one. We got to put something out there that matters that they want to listen to.
I think bad news.
I should say this, Josh, and I didn't tell you this, but I've tried to start like cross publishing this onto podcasts. I'm using something called Anchor, so I'm putting it on Spotify. So there, all these episodes. If you guys are podcast people, I'm not because I'm too old to figure that out. But
I am.
I've figured out how to like publish it onto Spotify, but I have not been able to publish it onto like Apple Podcasts and some of these other common ones.
Oh, I think it's easy. I'll tell you how to do it after the show.
I think it is too. It's something about a RLL, but I don't know what that is. And so I'm trying to figure it out. And maybe it's just the interface thing, but we'll look at it after to make sure we get it out there because we really got to give the people what they want. And there's been a big uprising on podcast people demanding the Pop Report. And I've not been able to give the people what they want. I've not been able to satiate that insane desire they have to hear us talk for an hour with no particular outline whatsoever.
We're just kind of shooting from the hip, man. Come on.
It's like that episode of Seinfeld where it's a Seinfeld show, but they're talking about doing the pilot in the show. And George is like, it's about nothing. And Jerry's like, well, it can't really be about nothing. He's like, no, nothing.
Yeah. Why am I watching it? Because it's on TV. Not yet. Yeah, right.
Not yet. That's right. Seinfeld or The Office, if you had to choose one.
Seinfeld, hands down.
Yeah.
I love Seinfeld.
We're showing our age, yeah. For that to even be a conversation or a debate, we're showing our age. All right, look. So this is episode number 10 of the podcast. We've got a kind of a brief outline here. Normally we hit 3 big topics. I've decided to scrap that. We're just going to start talking. I've got a little bit of an outline that I jotted down right before we started. The first thing that I want to kind of talk about, Josh, is the card that you chased as a kid, right? How old did you say you were? 44?
I'm 44. Yeah.
You're 44. I'm 48. I was born in 74. You were born in what, 78?
78.
Okay, you were born in 78. So the cards that we chase may not be the same as some of our younger listeners were chasing, but if you guys are in your mid to late 40s or early 50s, you're going to love this segment of the show today. The card that I chased growing up, 1978 Topps Eddie Murray Cuppy rookie card. And the reason, Josh, is because I don't know if you guys remember. If you're old enough, you'll remember this. They didn't have Beckett's, right? Beckett's didn't exist. But they had these like annual baseball, and it was baseball only, price guides.
Yeah.
And they were like, it was almost like the George Mikan 48 Bowman, right? Like a Beckett is shaped like a comic book.
Right.
Well, these were like pocket guides. And so they were probably, I don't know, maybe 6 inches by, 6 inches, but they were like deep. It was almost like a cube. The pages were like super cheap quality. The print was so small, I never could read it now, but I could read it back then. And they literally listed, Josh, every single freaking card. Like they listed every common, right? Beckett figured out you could just put common cards, 3 cents. Well, this pocket guide listed every damn card in every damn set that was ever made. And I remember the Eddie Murray card was $15 at a time where, really nice Pete Rose cards and really nice George Brett cards were like $1.50 or $2 or whatever. So when I saw $15, I was like, oh, hell yes, that's a lot of money, especially back in the early 80s. So I was probably in 81, something like that. I was probably 7, 8 years old. That Eddie Murray Cuppy card, I probably should pull it up. I bet I could find it right now. I'm going to put this on screen share. Tell me what your card was. I'm pulling my card up right now.
1984 Topps Don Mattingly. That was the card. I was 6 years old when that came out, and every time my mom would go to Walgreens or the local Jewel, it's like the Albertsons, if they have it by you, local Jewel, I'd ask to get a pack of cards. Always, I would never get the Mattingly. I'd always get the strawberry.
Which was honestly, that wasn't bad either.
No,
but
it was hot. It was
big. Was who was 83? Boggs and Gwynn.
And Ryan Sandberg.
And then and Boggs and Gwynn were huge. And they were literally like black and white twins of each other, right? They did
Right.
the same thing. Neither one of them hit for power ever,
Right.
but they hit every ball opposite field. Like every ball, they were almost like Ichiro Suzuki, like leaning their bat through, slicing it, and getting singles. What's funny is I'm sitting here telling you my chase card was a baseball card, and I don't even collect baseball anymore. But back then, it's like everybody grew up. I mean, you called them baseball cards. You didn't say sports cards. You said baseball cards because that's really all that anybody paid attention to. But here's my Eddie Murray on the screen, right? In a PSA 10, do you want to guess what that card's worth?
$58,000, and wow, I assume there's that many 10s.
No, there's 18 of them. PSA 9, it looks like there's 662, so it's about $1,500. So basically, what is that? 100 times what it was worth when I was trying to get it when it was worth $15. And I'll never forget a story. I finally consummated a deal. I finally got the card, Josh. I convinced one of my buddies. I must have given him some Pete Rose, some Ricky Henderson. I'm trying to think who else was hot back then. Some Rod Carew, some Nolan Ryan cards. I put together a huge package, right? I was wheeling and dealing. I thought I was the smartest kid in the world. I got the card on your screen right here. Obviously, it wasn't graded. It probably was not in this condition because it's very difficult to keep those soft paper cards from the 70s in good condition. Yeah. I put it in my 3-ring binder, right, with my 3x3 glossy pages. Of course, I slipped it in. I put it in the middle because I didn't ever want there to be a chance that it would get damaged, like too close to the rings or whatever, Yeah. So I thought the middle was the safest place. And then I took an ink pen and I wrote on the glossy page, I was trying to write $15 because that was what made me so proud. Like even then, I was a collector, yes, because I wanted the card, but I was an investor, right? I wanted everyone to know this is a $15 card you're looking at. This is no ordinary card. But I pushed so hard on the glossy cover sheet that I indented into the card.
Oh.
I didn't realize until after I did it. And then I pulled the card out and I was like, yep, there it is. It's 15 right up here by his face. So I damaged the card, destroyed it. It would be a PSA 1 at best. So if anybody picks up a PSA 1 Eddie Murray in a slab where you can see the numbers 15.00 on it, that was mine.
That's hilarious.
Your Don Mattingly ended up, being the face of the junk wax era until grading came around. And now let's see what the 84 Topps Mattingly PSA 10's worth. It's a $1,000 card,
Wow.
Junk wax for sure, but there's 882 of them. I bet you there's a lot of PSA 9s. Yeah, 5627, right? Wow. But in PSA 10, that's still a pretty rare card, Josh. So,
yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, that's a cool card. That's a cool card. The Mattingly Donruss was also a really big one too that a lot of people wanted, so.
I always wanted that one, but I could never find Donruss packs anywhere. They didn't have them at the store, and then at the local card shop, he never had Donruss.
Yeah, same down here in Louisiana.
I'll circle this back to basketball. In Topps in 1992 made an archive set, and it's basketball cards, but it follows the 84 Topps. Yeah, there it is. And the Jordan, that's Jordan's first Topps card.
I've got that. I've got that card. I don't have the gold. The gold's the one I want. Do you have the gold one, Josh?
I have a gold and an 8, but I also have about 84 of the raw ones in a. I think the design is cool as hell. I just love the image. So yeah, I have like 84 raw ones like stacked in a box just because they're awesome cards.
Look, this is as nostalgic as it gets because it takes me back to 84 Topps baseball when I was trying to get the Mattingly and the Strawberry, right? So the Jordan Topps Archives gold is pop 88, and it's about a $1,500 card. That's a cool card, man. I do not have it, the gold in PSA 10. I have the base in PSA 10. Still not even that really high. 471 is not too bad, right? That's a card every Jordan collector needs to have, and probably in PSA 10.
I was buying the 9s in 2018 for like $20 a pop, and then they shut up to 100, and I just got rid of all of them because
that's probably a good idea. You probably timed it well. By the way, they got to 212.
Yeah, I was never near there. But I kept to $100. I'm like, there's no way I should hang on to this.
So I have so many of them. It should be worth this much, right?
Right.
The PSA 10's got to 1,000, almost 1,000. Yeah, 1,095. Somebody bought one for.
That's crazy.
Yeah, what's crazy is it's worth $312 now. So
that's an awesome card.
That's the story of a lot of cards nowadays. So anyway, so that's it. Those are the two chase cards that we were after, right? And so what's ironic is, do you own an 84 Topps Mattingly in any grade today?
I don't now. Maybe maybe I'll pick one up at the National just to get one.
Yeah, and I don't own Eddie Murray in any grade either. But now just talking about it brings back memories, and I remember sitting on the carpet at my friend's house. I remember where they lived, the name of the street, my friend's name, and I remember getting that deal done. It was the first deal I got done for what I thought was a really big card. And then I damaged it irreparably by writing $15 on it on the glossy page.
I have one. I have one.
Oh, what do you have? What grade do you have?
Oh, it's raw. I was doing a 500 home run rookie card set.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I hit a wall with Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle. And,
No, walls are meant to be toppled, dude. You got to get through that. You got to go get you a Babe Ruth rookie. I mean, Gaudy's not his rookie. Go back. What isn't it, like 1915 or something?
So his real rookie is 1914 Baltimore News. 14. And there's a blue and a red copy, and there's like 6 maybe that are out there. The last one sold an REA, I think, 5 years ago. It's a tough card. But someone on Instagram posted that his 33 Gaudy was his rookie. I lost my mind because it's not.
Well, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about this. So I've got this pulled up here. I'm going to share this for you. Let's pull this up. This happened about 15 days ago. For those of you who don't know, this card right here, not this exact serial number, or maybe it was, but I don't know. But a BGS 7, Michael Jordan, PMG Red, kind of shocked the world and the Jordan collecting world. Obviously, this is a Grail level Jordan. Everybody should recognize that if they collect Jordan or they collect basketball cards generally, and they've done any education in the hobby. So this card sold for $450,000. It's the only time a BGS 7 copy is ever sold in a public setting, at least since the early 2000s. It sold for $450 in what I would consider a certain down market. Would you agree with that? We're in a down market for the most part.
I still don't think we're in a down market for certain things. I think for Michael, no way. I think for a lot of that stuff that got over, it's a separate conversation, but I don't think Jordan's ever down. Is he?
Well, I'm telling you, he's down on some of the ones I'm looking at. This one's not, though, because he definitely bucked the trend. This BGS 7 copy, and it is, in all fairness, for a BGS 7, I think it's a really clean. This is not it, but this BGS 7 that sold was a really clean BGS 7. I kind of compared it to my BGS 8, and it was what and what. That's what we say in Louisiana. Do they say that up there? What and what?
Not really.
When they say it's this or that and más o menos, they're about the same. We say what and what down here. I don't know. It must be a Cajun thing. Or maybe you don't have any street cred and you don't really know how to speak the dialect. But down here, whenever two things are comparable and you can't really tell a difference between them, we just say, hey, it's what and what. Maybe it's also because people in Louisiana don't have the biggest vocabulary. They don't have a prodigious vocabulary.
I didn't want to say anything. Although prodigious is a big word, though.
That's a pun.
I get it.
Yeah. So the BGS 7 sold for $450, which is kind of bonkers. I mean, most people, I think we're expecting probably around the $250 range. I think the last BGS 8 had sold for $312, which I'm familiar with. And then the last BGS 8.5 about 9 months ago, sold for $400. So I think a lot of people were expecting this to be down a little bit, maybe sell in the $275 range or something like that. But it bucked the trend and went for a crazy number. The reason I bring it up is because now on the premier auction in PWCC that ends in July, we've got this absolute freak of nature on your screen. This is an 8.5 copy of the PMG Red, 0.5 away from a BGS 9. This card matters. Like, this is a really, really big deal. And if the 7 just sold for $450, this one could go for an earth-shattering number. It's already at $360 pre-BP, which is buyer's premium. So if we tack 20% on there, quick Cajun math, that's about $435, something like that, right? That is a big number with, 11 days left. What do you think this 8.5 is going to end at, Josh? Putting you on the spot.
600.
Do you really?
600. Done. Okay. If it's got
That's
good eye appeal and the chipping on that card is everything.
It is, but it's almost impossible to get it without the chipping. I mean, this one, Look, this is much better than my BGS 8. Okay, it's not even close. This is a way better card. But if you look closely at it, Josh,
there's still chipping on the left.
I've got it pulled up here. I don't know if y'all can see that. Yeah. That's noticeable chipping across the top up there. It's folded, right? And along the left side. Yeah. I mean, it's impossible to hide it. And that's the deal with these PMGs. And I'm real familiar with not just the Jordan, but all the red PMGs. As you know, I've been into the set. Now I'm getting out of the set. So I'm really familiar with the condition and the sensitivity of these cards. It's impossible to find these cards without any whitening or any kind of flaking on the sides. And PSA has gotten so damn tough Like I recently sent a Leitner that I thought, honest to God, I was being objective. I thought the Leitner could have graded a PSA 9, and he came back to PSA 5.
And as a Kentucky fan, I'm surprised you bought a Christian Leitner card.
Well, hey, it's business, baby. It's all business, right? I'll never forget that game. Speaking of remembering where you were when something happened, that was like the space shuttle blowing up. I remember where I was when Leitner hit that shot, and I couldn't believe it. And do you want to know something that was horrible about that I probably shouldn't admit to? I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, right? So I'm Cajun, but I'm not really. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, so I'm really a hillbilly. It should be called hillbilly cardboard, but that would probably scare people off. But I remember where I was, and when Leitner hit that shot, Josh, I had one of those brackets, right? I was in high school, so I had one of those brackets. I had picked Duke to win it. So it was a mixture of, man, I'm about to win $120 with I should be ashamed for even picking against my Kentucky Wildcats. It was a bad combination there.
See, are there any cards you just wouldn't buy because you don't like the player or the team?
I will never own a Kendrick Perkins card. I will never own a John Henson card.
Okay.
I will never own a Paul Pierce card.
Okay.
I will never own a PJ Tucker card. I will never allow anyone on earth to own a Matthew Dellavedova card. If you own a Matthew Dellavedova card, do not show it to me because I will snatch it and I will pitch it to the alligators.
No idea who that is, so do not worry.
Okay, yeah, I know you don't have one because he's a modern basketball player. I know you don't have one. Yeah, so he's a horrible scourge on the NBA. Probably arguably one of the worst NBA players that's ever played in the league. And he stole a bunch of money from the Bucks for a couple years.
Wow.
He's a disaster. I'm sure somebody in here is going to be Australian, and we lost him. We just lost in Australia. He's from Australia. No offense to Australia. There's been some great players from Australia. Andrew Bogut being one, Andrew Gaze. I mean, I could go down a long list, but Dellavedova was absolutely a scourge of the NBA. So, yeah, those are on my list. What about you? Do you have players out there that you just absolutely you cannot stand that you would never put in your collection?
No, for basketball, I'll never buy an Isaiah Thomas card ever, ever, ever.
We're on the same page. Good.
I know.
Okay.
But actually, any Detroit Piston is off. Yeah, I hate the Pistons. And
to this day,
I don't forget, man.
You're punishing these Pistons for the behavior of Pistons 30 years ago?
You can't separate. It's the Pistons. You can't separate them. It's like I don't root for the Red Wings, Detroit Red Wings. I won't buy any Red Wing card ever, even though their jerseys are pretty cool. But still, I won't buy any Yzerman, Fedorov, anyone. Forget it.
Okay.
Won't buy them. Who else? I'm trying to think. Oh, Mario Lemieux. Forget Mario Lemieux.
Really? Why?
Beat the Blackhawks in the finals. Swept them in '92. Forget it. Never buy any Pittsburgh Penguin cards.
So you dislike full teams because of what they did to your Chicago-based sports teams. I just dislike. Here's my deal. I'm just going to give it to you straight. I vehemently dislike NBA players who don't understand what their role is. That's really what it comes down to with me. So I don't have a lot of hatred for teams, schools, NBA franchises, things like that. I don't have a lot of hatred for that. I can't stand watching players who don't understand their role and think they deserve field goal attempts who don't. That's my problem.
Right. I get you.
Yeah.
I just, there's scars in my childhood that cannot be erased. And it's unforgivable. Like
that's funny that we both got different reasons not to collect people and just horrible disdain for franchises 40 years after.
Right. Oh, there's no logic to it at all. It's all emotion.
Right. At some point we're gonna have to bury the hatchet with these players and teams, Josh. We're not gonna be able to. On my deathbed, I'm not gonna be able to carry this Dellavedova hate to my.
No
deathbed.
Zeke, no Thomas. I can't do it. No Isaiah Thomas ever. I just can't. I can't hold one in my hand. I would never buy one.
The only Isaiahs I own are the 86 Fleer, which I had to. I had no choice. I had to buy him. I had to buy Lambeer. I had to buy Isaiah. Is James Edwards in there? I can't remember. I got to buy all those guys, man. Jimmy Johnson?
Ugh.
I know. Now, let me ask you this. We're getting way off track. Joe Dumars.
I mean, guilt by association, but I mean.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't make an exception for Gentleman Joe. Like, he's the biggest class act in the history of the league. I have no idea how he coexisted with all those imbeciles.
Right. He never was getting in there like giving Michael the close arm, or doing like dirty fouls like Rodman. Although Rodman is okay, he redeemed himself because he helped us win 3 championships. See, it's
all is forgiven.
It's all flexibility. Exactly. Yeah.
Right. All is forgiven when you get your franchise like 800 rebounds in a season.
Right. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, forget about it. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. So you think 600,000. I'm going to go out on a limb and say 511,000. Okay. So
Wow.
we've got our votes. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think. So the BGS 7 sold for 450 a couple weeks ago on June 25th. This is a BGS 8.5 copy. It's already at 435. I don't think it's going to get much higher than 511. Again, I have no dog in this hunt other than the fact that I own a lower level copy of it, but it's interesting to watch. And when you own big time grail cards like this, it makes it fun to kind of watch stuff from the sidelines, right? Lately, I've been watching all of the value of my cards go down because certain comps are going down. And contrary to what you think, the Jordan market is down in a lot of places, low to mid end stuff. It is. I'm telling you. I pour into this stuff. I'm telling you, it is. You're looking at Steve Eiserman cards, and I'm looking at Jordans all day.
I'm not looking at Steve Eiserman cards. I'm absolutely not looking at Steve Eiserman.
Well, you're making sure not to buy Steve Eiserman cards. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll look at that in more detail next week, the Jordan market, because that's something that we haven't really done. I'll put a video out there every once in a while talking about Jordan cards and looking at what they are and aren't doing. But yeah, we'll talk about that next week.
That's a good topic
all right,
for next week.
Let's move on. Okay, so something I did the other day, and let me know what you think. And I honestly just packed these up, and they're going out to PWCC to be stored in my vault tomorrow because they're paying the ass to store. At the time I did it, I just thought it was something cool. And again, Josh, we've talked about this. Nostalgia drives a lot of what we do. Sometimes we throw dollar signs out the window and nostalgia drives us, but sometimes the best investments are decisions we make from a collector perspective. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So sometimes the best investments are items that collectors would want the most, right? I think that's a fair statement. So let me show you what I've done. Let me just pull one up on eBay. So I'm talking about the Michael Jordan cover Beckett's. I bought a raw collection here in December of 2020. So just pre-COVID, a huge raw collection. Huge, Josh, like 800,000 raw cards, 785,000 of those raw cards were worthless. And so we just filled up garbage cans after garbage cans and gave some to charity and gave some away to kids wherever, come get it, just a bunch of junk wax stuff. But within that collection, Josh, was a guy who had a bunch of, in fact, every single Beckett Basketball Monthly magazine, price guide with Michael Jordan on the cover. And so he had 2 issue number 1s. And so I bought those, but then I bought every other Beckett that he had with Jordan on the cover. And I was like, I'm going to get these graded and I'm just going to hold up. This is just something I want because I remember getting these magazines every month. Do you remember, did you ever use the basketball Beckett's? Yeah.
I used to get them. I remember when they first came out, I made my mom drive me around looking for one. You couldn't find them either.
This is it. This is one right here that you're looking at. So this is the 9 point, CGC grades these. I'm sure there's other people that grade them. I'm not a super expert on these, Josh, but CGC grades them. And from what I understood, I sent mine to CGC because that's what comic book people told me to do. Yep. I'm as dumb as it gets. I'm dumb as a rock when it comes to grading magazines. And I was like, I don't know what to do. So I did have some comic friends here in town, and they said, send it to CGC. So I sent all mine to CGC. I think that's who grades these things. And they've got a pop report and everything. It was actually relatively affordable. I think it was maybe I'm trying to remember, Josh, maybe $30 each one, $35 total shipped with insurance. And so I graded every single one of them. And when they came back, I got mixed reviews. I didn't know what the hell I was looking at, Josh, about the seal and the binder. I know obviously if it was folded corners or white or whatever, it was going to be a problem, just like cards. I didn't know what was good, but apparently 9.8 in CGC for magazines and comic books is like PSA 10 or BGS 9.5 for.
Hey guys, really sorry about that. Big storm swept through and I lost our good friend Josh, Midwest Vintage. So I'm going to finish up this episode number 10 of the Pop Report by myself so we can put this thing out tomorrow for you guys to watch on Monday, July 11th. Anyway, getting back to where we were, and again, I'm picking up and flying solo now. I've got this pulled up. So this is just a move that I made. I mean, some of you guys like to hear about collecting. Some of you guys like to hear about investing. So this is going to definitely have an investing tilt. I was saying I bought a raw collection with tons of these Beckett's. I've got, I think there's probably 20, maybe 15, 20 Beckett's with Jordan on the cover. I sent all of them for grading. I got mixed results, but I did get a bunch of 9.8s and 9.6s. And when I looked it up on the CGC registry, which is just like the PSA Pop Report, you can actually go plug in your serial number. I pulled it up, and a lot of mine were Pop 1 or Pop 2, and even some of the 9.6 Beckett's with Jordan on the cover were Pop 1 and 9.6 with none graded higher. So just like PSA and BGS, they let you know where your particular magazine ranks as far as the grading hierarchy, and if there are any higher, how many are higher. And so that's just something interesting. I don't know if this is a play that everybody would be interested in doing. I just got into it because I picked these things up. I think I paid $5 for issue number 1 from this guy whose collection that I bought, and then I paid $3 for every other magazine with Jordan on the cover. And it worked out well for me because, as you can see, most of these issue number 1 from 1990 with Jordan on the cover, that is a Pop 137 in 9.8. And those sell anywhere from like $750 to like $1,100, I think, generally speaking. I think that's a safe bet. But even more interesting is issue number 2, which is right here. This in a 9.8 is a Pop 3. And I'm lucky to have one 9.8 copy, and I think I've also got a 9.6 copy. So this one is significantly more rare, and obviously it's probably not printed any lower. The print run's probably not any different, or certainly not lower than Beckett Monthly Magazine issue number 1. It's just that it probably means less than the first ever Beckett, and the first ever Beckett is going to obviously result in more being graded than the second Jordan cover Beckett, which was issue number 10 featuring Jordan here in his USA number 9 jersey. So anyway, I just thought that was an interesting move, and I would share it with you guys. I know we always talk about different stuff that I'm doing. I'm pretty transparent, and I kind of share that with you guys. I'm not here to hype up these Becketts or whatever, but anyway, I just packed up all of the 9.6s and 9.8s, and I've sent them all to PWCC so we can keep them in my PWCC vault, which provides beautiful high-def images, and it stores them and gives you an approximate value. And whenever you want to kind of show your stuff off and you want to flex your stuff on Instagram or Facebook, or even if you're trying to work deals and work trades, it's real easy just to click a button, right-click, cut, paste, photo, crop it, boom, send it, and it's out like in seconds. It just makes it easy to make deals and get deals done using PWCC. Anyway, that was the gist of that, but I learned a lot by doing that. I learned a little bit more about the condition of the magazines required to get a 9.8 or a 9.6. I did pay a little bit of attention, on some of the ones that graded lower, and CGC even gives you a reason why they graded lower, which was really cool, and I thought was just an awesome little perk, which I wish PSA and BGS did for cards. Like when you get a BGS 8 back, you're like, what the hell, man? Why did my card grade a BGS 8? Well, CGC tells you why your magazine graded an 8.0 or an 8.4 or whatnot. So pretty cool that way. I've never seen a CGC 10, so I don't even know if they exist. Like I said, I am completely ignorant when it comes to grading magazines and comic books. I was just kind of a sheep that was just following the herd and doing what my comic book friends suggested. So, but anyway, that's just kind of a little investment play that I made that apparently is going to work out pretty well, since a lot of my other Beckett basketball monthlies with Jordan on the cover are actually Pop 1. I think I had like 6 or 7 of them that were Pop 1, none higher. So, I like it. I'm going to keep them all together. I'm going to do a nice big photo on Instagram with a bunch of Becketts in a row. That's the kind of stuff that excites me, in a down market, just trying to look for something different and something different out there. But anyway, I was going to ask Josh about how the card show went this weekend, and I'm so jealous because he lives in Chicago, which seems like the heart of the hobby. I swear if there was a Hall of Fame or a museum or something for the sports card hobby, it would be in Chicago. There's shows all the time. I'm so jealous. I've got a couple of friends that live up that way, and they're always talking about going to shows, and we just don't have that luxury down here in Louisiana. I do have no excuse of why I have not gotten over to the Dallas show, which is kind of the regional national or the mini national that happens 4 times a year, but I've got to get over there. Once again, I'm going to have to miss the one this July that's before the national, because I'll be on vacation with my family. Plus, I'll be gearing up for national, so I probably wouldn't want to go to Dallas and spend very much money anyway. Plus, I don't think I could get away from my family two weekends in a row. So I'm going going to be on vacation, and I'm going to come back, and then I'm going to jump on a plane, fly to Philly, and take a train to Atlantic City, and hopefully I'll get to see a bunch of you up there. The only other thing we had on the radar for the Pop Report, Josh would not have been super helpful with this because you guys know he doesn't collect ultra modern basketball. I do keep an eye on that. Is the fact that 2021 Prism dropped. It dropped on Friday, I think, and so it's out there. I think I had access to buying a case for like $14,500 or $15,000. I think David Adams had it for over $17,000. I just, that to me is just preposterous. When it's quite likely you're going to pull, a few $100s out of the box, maybe. I just can't justify it. Best case, a few $100. I just can't justify it. We've seen what's going on with base prisms for prior years, right? If a 2018 base prism is worth peanuts, if it doesn't say Luka Doncic on it, then why in the hell do I want a Scotty Barnes, base prism? You almost, your odds are just not great to get anywhere remotely near your money back. And I'm just not the gambling type. That's why I just don't open a lot of wax, but I specifically don't open a lot of ultra modern wax because it seems like that's priced even higher and your odds are even lower, especially now with the recent dip on any type of high pop or any non-serial numbered cards. Hell, even serial number cards, $199, $299, the reds and the blues are going significantly down in value. The silvers obviously are going significantly down in value for 99% of the modern active NBA basketball players out there. So I think I read there's 58 58 total parallels now. That's just too many. Again, Panini has no reason to listen to the hobby when we say less parallels, fewer colors, make them mean more, make inserts more rare, listen to the hobby. We're begging Panini. Hopefully Fanatics will hear what we have to say and they'll diminish the number of parallels and get us back to close to something, maybe not 2012 Prism, right? Where there's base, silver, gold, green, that's 4, right? Or 3, base plus 3 parallels. Maybe not that, and there's only 4 inserts, right? But maybe 2014, 2015 Prism where there was enough parallels to where each one still meant something and was recognizable, but it wasn't mind-blowing and just overwhelming and required, a 10-hour education on what the hell you're even looking at. I mean, 58 parallels. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that are pulling cards out and not even knowing what they're looking at. And it's not like you can look at the back of the wrapper like you could back in the 90s to look at pack odds and all that stuff. So 58's just too many, and that's not including optic choice or prism choice, prism fast break, or T-Mall, or whatever the hell else is going to happen. Indonesia prism. There's just a million different variations out there. It's just too much. It is hurting the hobby, not helping. Again, maybe I'm full of it because these things I'm sure are going to sell out, and they're probably going to sell out at these prices. But I'll be honest with you, I think the primary reason that these hobby boxes are selling at these astronomical prices, despite the fact that the value of the contents have gone down, is because of breakers. And so people are willing to overpay a little bit for a spot for a few $100s, or maybe not even a few $100s, but they're not willing to pay the price for the box. So what I would be interested to know is what percentage of the end user, the people that are actually opening the boxes, right? Buying it and opening the boxes, what percentage of those people are breakers, and what percentage of it are people like you and me who are just collectors, generally speaking. I would bet that the percentage of hobby prism boxes that have been opened in the last 7 days is significantly higher percentage today than it would have been back in 2017, 2018 when I was buying these boxes for $200 or $250. I know that's hard to believe, but it is true. So I hope Fanatics listens to us. Panini clearly didn't and doesn't care. I was almost hoping that they would just merge the 2 rookie classes and just wait and release 2021, 22, 23 Prism as one unit, almost like 2012 Prism had 2 rookie classes. I was hoping they would just wait and do that in like September, and then we could have 2 rookie classes in one product. It would be a huge fire in the hobby, right? That would light a huge fire and spur tons of interest and momentum leading into the next NBA season. But that was not the case, and that is not what Panini decided to do. I'm sure they're trying to maximize their dollar. So who knows when 2022-23 Prism is going to come out. I've been watching Summer League. There's a lot of good-looking players out there. I haven't identified any that I think are surefire superstars, but a couple of them stand out to me. Jaden Ivey. Boncaro looks solid, like he's a can't miss probably. Chet Holmgren's going to be relevant on the court. I'm not sure how much in the hobby his game will translate into hobby love. You know, Jabari Smith honestly looks a little bit shaky to me. But Jaden Ivey, Keegan Murray, and Boncaro have done anything and everything they were expected. And then there's some other guys. Benedict Mathurin had a good, first game as well. So anyway, sorry guys for the weird transition here. I was filming the episode with Josh. A big storm rolled through and it knocked all the power out. So I lost Josh. And now Josh is not responding to me because he doesn't like me and he thinks that I just ghosted him. But this is the conclusion for the Pop Report issue, episode number 10. Thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. And peace.